On a bizarre night in Bearden, the Fulton Falcons spoil Bearden's homecoming with a 15-10 victory over the Bearden Bulldogs on a night that the Fulton Falcons overcome 6 turnovers, but they got the big interception at the end of the game to seal the victory away. Fulton now 4-2 on the year. You are watching Fulton After Dark. It is after midnight, and we are here in the WKCS radio and television studios with Fulton head coach Rob Black to recap tonight's victory over the Bearden Bulldogs. And Coach Black, this was an absolute gut check by the Fulton football team tonight.
Yeah, all night long. You know, we talked about that Monday, that, you know, we had a ton of respect for, you know, Bearden and especially them defensively and how hard they play, and knew that we were going to have to match that intensity. And it was tough sledding a lot tonight, and how we overcame, you know, 6 turnovers and still get a win, I don't know. But I know our defense played really well, and I know played really, really hard.
Well, there was adversity just all over the place tonight. Coaches' headsets didn't work. You had to overcome some strange penalties, the turnovers as well. It was just a night that you had to grind and battle.
You know, adversity hits in a lot of different ways. It hits us in life, it hits us in football, and we address that weekly, you know, in our program. And just because I know we're going to face it for the rest of our lives. And so, you know, this is just another one of those areas where, you know, football is good for you, and football teaches you that stuff. And so we were able to face it and overcome it.
What does it mean for a team like Fulton to come off, you know, a very exciting win the week before against Gibbs, a night where it seemed like everything clicked? Tonight, you just have to you find a way to win. What does that say about your football team?
Yeah, you know, again, just a gutsy bunch, you know, and Coach Schindler from Bearden talked a little bit about our team at the end when we spoke at midfield, and he kind of said that same thing, you know, how tough our guys played and how hard they played and how they just gut things out, and I'm proud of them for that. You know, there's so many different opportunities, especially when you're dealing with young people, to you know, when something like that hits you, you quit, you know, and our guys didn't do that, and we're starting to get better at that, you know, keeping on playing. And so, you know, again, just proud of our team for that.
Well, and in a game like that, if one person lets down, that could have been the critical mistake, and nobody did.
Yeah, you know, you're right. You know, again, it's next play. I mean, you got to play the next play, you know, when something bad happens. And like I said, we're getting better at it, you know. And again, you could have had a bust here and a bust there, and that outcome looks different. So we just kept on playing, stayed the course, and got a win.
You knew from the time that you turned on the film on Saturday that Bearden was going to be an outstanding football team on defense. What is it about Bearden that makes them so tough on that side of the ball?
Well, I think they do what every coach in America wants their football team to do, and that's play with a ton of energy and try to get 11 hats to the ball. And they do a good job of that. And they've got 2 or 3 really special guys, you know, up front, but on top of that, they've got 11 defensively that I think get after it, you know, and just play so hard. And sometimes, you know, your scheme and things like that don't really matter when you're playing that hard and playing that tough. And so, again, they made it hard on us, and we knew they would, but, you know, we found a few things and were able to move the ball several times down into their territory and did it with consistency, and then we'd get down there and turn it over. And so we put ourselves in some situations, but we were able to dig out of it.
A lot of difficulty running the football, especially early in the first half of the football game.
Well, early on it was tough, you know, and they did give us a few things that we had not seen them do on film. It's not stuff that we haven't seen before, but it's stuff we haven't seen them do. So, you know, they tried to scheme us a little bit and give us some things that we had not seen. We gave them some stuff tonight that they hadn't seen, you know, so that's just kind of the game, you know. And so once we kind of settled in and talked about a few things at halftime, we were able to come out in the second half and make a little change here and there and got a little running game going. And again, you know, football requires you to be able to run it a little bit. And so it was good in the second half that we could do that some.
The defense got on the board first for the Falcons, and it was a big one as the Falcons were able to get a safety as the quarterback Parrott trying to get rid of the ball in the end zone, called for grounding as he was in the end zone. So the Falcons get a 2-pointer. You get the ball back and you're able to get on the board, and all of a sudden you're up 9-0 late in the first quarter, kind of the start that you wanted to get off to.
Yeah, we needed to be up early, and you and I have talked about this before. We kind of live on momentum, and so you want to get it as quick and early as you can in a ball game, and sometimes it makes it a little easier on the team that gets the momentum, a little tougher on the other team, and so that's the situation we wanted to be in. We didn't get it quite like we wanted it, but at that point when you got a 9 spot on the board versus a goose egg on their end, we had some momentum then.
And on a night of fumbles and just strange bounces, probably the bounce of the night went to Fulton as Davion Chenault fumbles the football, but it's picked up by Dre Peebles, and he carries it in for the first Fulton touchdown of the game.
Yeah, I think it was a 3rd down screen play, and it opened up really nice for us. I thought we executed the play really well, and again, had a pretty good gain on it. I think we'd picked up the first down, and they got a hat on the ball and popped it loose, and like I said, there's Johnny on the spot, Peebles, and he scoops it up and gets it in the end zone for us. That was huge.
So the Falcons are up 9-0 as the first quarter comes to a close, but then all of a sudden turnovers begin to mount up just a little bit, and Bearden goes on a run. They get a 20-yard field goal. Again, another good goal line stand by the Falcons to force the field goal there, the first points of the game from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we gave them a short field there, and again, that's one of those times where things weren't going our way at the time, and I think we'd had a snap situation and maybe a penalty and kind of backed ourselves up, and all of a sudden they've got the ball and got short field, and if we're quitting there and pointing fingers and so forth, we probably give up a touchdown, and instead we bowed up and kept them to a field goal, which I thought was big.
Then Bearden finds some things in the running game, and Young, their running back, number 17, did an outstanding job. He was hard to tackle tonight.
Yeah, ran it tough, strong, really good balance. I thought had some good vision, and our run defense was good, but now he was a load tonight.
So Bearden takes a 10-9 lead after a 15-yard touchdown by Young. Fulton will get the football back with the last possession before halftime, and Coach, the Falcons put together really an incredible drive to get on the board right before the half and be able to retake the lead.
Well, I had a couple big plays in it, and then got it down there tight, and had to take our last time out, and so we're sitting there with none. We got got a couple of play calls coming out of the timeout, and we're able to execute that and get one in the end zone, which was huge.
Yeah, you had, I believe, a pass in bounds right before the touchdown, or a run in bounds. The clock was running, and the team showed good poise in that situation to get up over the football, and you get the touchdown pass to Antonio Kyle.
Yeah, again, we were in a situation where we knew coming out of that timeout we don't have timeouts left. We talked about the spike play if we needed it, but we went ahead and called 2 plays, knowing that if we run one, don't get it in, we're going to move some people and make some changes and line up real quick, and we already had another one called, so executed it well. Good to see Antonio get one tonight.
And he played an outstanding game tonight for the Falcons overall.
Yeah, he did. He made some plays on defense and caught 3 or 4 balls for us, none bigger than that touchdown, obviously, but broke one up in the end zone at one point there late in the game, almost had a pick on that one, so it was good to see him making plays for us.
And what did it mean to be able to go to halftime with the lead after surrendering a 9-point lead in the second quarter?
Yeah, I thought that was big. Again, momentum. We went up there, and instead of having to go up there and push a panic button, we go up there and we're kind of settled down, and we talked our guys through some things on offense and on defense, and then came back knowing that we were going to be in a dogfight for the next half.
And it was quite a dogfight as the Fulton Falcons got the football first, and if I'm not mistaken, had a turnover right off the bat, gave Bearden back the football. But the defense rose to the occasion on every time that their back was against the wall. Bearden had 137 yards of total offense at halftime. They finished the game with 136. Coach, that means in the second half, the Fulton defense held Bearden with the game on the line to -1 yards in the second half.
Yeah, and I didn't realize, I knew they didn't get much in the second half, but I didn't realize it was -1. So again, our defensive staff does a good job, but more than that, I mean, just how hard our guys are playing, and we talk a lot about running to the football and using your hands and all the different things that we teach, and you start seeing that show up on tape. That's good to see. And
Parrott, their quarterback for Bearden, is only a freshman, but I thought he really played with a lot of poise throughout the game.
Yeah, he didn't play like a freshman. He made a little mistake on the safety there, but gutsy kid, plays tough. Going to be a really, really good football player for him, but I felt like we got after him pretty good too.
Well, and that was probably one of the big differences in the second half, is that you were able to get a lot more pressure on him and force more incomplete passes.
Well, we did, and I mean, we made it so hard in the run game for them, just stopping the run, and so they had to try to start throwing it a little bit, and I felt like our pressure, we got him running a little bit, and then didn't let him sit back there and set his feet and pat the ball and throw it. So we made it hard on him.
On the defensive side of the football, unofficially, your leading tackler Cameron Stokes with 6 tackles, but you also had Keenan Vaughn with 5 tackles and 2 sacks, Bill Anderson with 4.5, Seth Vaughn with 4. That's your defensive front right there, leading your team in tackles on the night.
It is, and again, we talked about them about every week. That's kind of who we stand with right there, is that defensive front, and they've got to play big every week, and then sometimes give our back end guys a chance to make a play. But that front's getting after it pretty good.
Now, as the Fulton defense hunkered down, the offense in the second half really came to life, and you were able to move the football, but weren't able to finish any drives.
Yeah, again, we found some things offensively, and I thought executed some things really well. Thought Davion ran it really hard up in there. In fact, he got gassed there for a minute. We had to get him out a couple times and let Marmar run it some, and that's a pretty good guy to put in there when you have to take Davion out. So, again, our offensive line, I gave them a shout out afterwards. I thought we moved some people around in the second half, and I thought Davion ran it up in there, showed some guts, running up in there between the tackles, and Marmar as well. And Rayshawn got us some stuff running it up in there. At times we ran some quarterback draw and some designed runs for him as well. And so we did find some things in the run game, and that was good to see, especially being able to start running some clock doing that.
Chenault finished the game with 73 yards rushing, but at halftime he was in the negative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, big second half out of him.
Rayshawn Jackson was 72 yards, and that's been something we've seen in the coming weeks, getting him more involved running the football.
Well, Rayshawn's an athlete, and so again, you don't want just one guy doing it for you. You got to have multiple guys. You got to do it in different ways, and so we were able to do that, mix it up a little bit, and kind of keep them off balance, and that was the plan going in. And again, we've got more than one guy that can make a play, and we're going to try to use them all.
And I know one thing that is you'll go back and take a look at the film and starting back in your preparation for next week on Monday, ball security, and then also the snap and the quarterback catching the football on the snap. That was a big concern in the second half.
Yeah, we got to go look at that thing and look at that film, and we got to learn some things from it, and we got to work on some things from it, and then get it corrected. Again. As we said this a little bit last week about a few other things, but as you get down the line, you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. And so, it wasn't as much penalties tonight as it has been in the past, but now tonight it's turnovers, and so all of those things are kind of equal. You can't turn it over. You can't have a bunch of penalties. You can't give up big plays, all those kind of things. That's what beats you, and so we just got to play cleaner.
Well, and I know there was just so many dodged bullets. Times that things could have turned south for the Falcons, but the Falcons were able to answer the bell each and every time. You get down to the end of the ball game, you're trying to run the clock out. You get in a situation on a 4th down. Marcellus runs it and comes up a little bit short, so Bearden gets the football around the 30 with about a minute and a half left in the football game. One last stand for the Falcons, and it comes up with a Davion Chenault interception.
Kind of cool night, but I was sweating, and again, they're one play away from winning it, and they've got it down there in our territory. So, again, counting on our defense to step up right there, and knew they couldn't run it, knew they were going to have to put it in the air there. They're out of timeouts, and so they're putting it up there, and Davion came up with a big one for us. And
being able to, I know you had to have a deep sigh of relief being able to get into victory formation those last 2 plays.
Best play in football, best play we ran all night long. I love getting into victory formation, and we do that a lot on Thursdays. We'll kind of practice that, and again, our defense gets us the ball back right there and seals the win, and you got to give them a lot of credit.
Every time, as we've said it several times on this broadcast, it was just amazing. Every time they had to make a play, they did.
Yeah, we did, and again, different people. Different people making big plays for us, whether it be offensively, defensively, or in special teams or whatever. Different people making big plays for us, and it's good to know that you got a lot of them, and we got to continue to make more and more of them as the weeks come.
Outside of the folks that we have mentioned by name, who are some other people you'd like to recognize for their efforts tonight?
Well, you can look back, you spoke of Cam there a little bit. Cam was a force inside. I thought Seth was huge. Bill Anderson made a couple big plays for us there on defense. They tried a little thing one time, and he stayed outside and made a guy cut back, and he didn't make the tackle, but he made the play, and then, I got to mention Seth, when we were running the football, we pulled Seth a lot in the second half, and it's asking a lot of a guy that's wore out and tired and playing both sides of the ball, and, again, we found something on the right side over there and pulled Seth from the backside, and changed our scheme up a little bit on a few things this week just to try to curtail some of the stuff they had coming off the edge, and I thought we executed some of that stuff real well, and again, we talked about Antonio a while ago. It was good to see Antonio Kyle make some plays for us, and he was a big part of our win tonight.
Well, a very emotional win. You could tell that there was really times that this football team really wanted to win this football game, no question.
Well, we used the word, it's getting thick out there, and it was. We were in the thick of things, and Bearden made it thick, and they play hard, they get after it, and I knew coming in. I tried my best to make sure our guys understood when we left on that bus to go to Bearden that we were going to go into a tough situation, and it was just that.
Falcons win tonight over the Bearden Bulldogs. There were no points scored in the second half, so that touchdown right before halftime was really the deciding play in the ball game as the Falcons win 15-10, the fewest points scored by the Falcons in a win since 2015 when the Falcons defeated Morristown West by the final score of 12-9. You just got to find a way to get the job done.
Yeah, it's all about getting that win, finding a way, and we did that tonight.
The Falcons will now turn their attentions. It'll be homecoming next week at Fulton High School, and it's a huge game against the South Doyle Cherokees coming into Bob Black Field next Friday night at 7 o'clock, and South Doyle presents a very unique set of challenges.
Well, they do. Again, I think they're going to be really good defensively, especially up front. Sean Gary's as good as anybody around as a running back. They've got a senior quarterback that's been around for a long time. And then they're well coached, so we'll have our work cut out for us again this week. But looking forward to it. It'll be homecoming. Hopefully we got a lot of, our alumni coming back, and hopefully our guys get excited about this one. And, the challenge as we left tonight was let's stay on this track, on this winning track, and let's don't get back off the tracks again.
Well, and an unusual historical note, South Doyle is one of the few teams that Fulton has never beaten in football. South Doyle 6-0 all time against the Falcons, and it seems like South Doyle always pops up on the schedule when they have a very good football team.
Yeah, and they do. They do. that's been a million. That school's had a million names. You know, they've been Dole and South Young and this and that, and we've won some of those. But since they've been South Dole, we hadn't won, and it's time to get that changed.
I know you'll want to see a big crowd Friday night.
Well, I'd love to. I think, you know, again, they can help us in momentum, you know, and when we hear those guys up there and they're behind us and we have support like that, that just makes us all the better, you know. So hopefully our people will come out and support us. Our guys are playing hard, you know. They deserve people's support, and so hopefully our people will show up and it'll be a fun night at Bob Black Field.
We hope to see you next Friday night, 7 o'clock for Homecoming 2021 as the Fulton Falcons get set to take on the South Dole Cherokees. The Falcons are now 4-2 on the year after tonight's win over the Bearden Bulldogs, 15-10. That's the Fulton head football coach Rob Black. I'm Russell Mays, inviting you each and every week to join us for Fulton After Dark as we review each week's game. Don't forget to listen to us on Falcon Radio 91.1 WKCS for the live radio broadcast, and also our video stream right here on this YouTube channel if you can't join us in person next Friday night. We want to thank everyone that makes these broadcasts possible here on WKCS. Robert Sheffield is in the radio studio, Nicholas Slagle in the TV studio as we do